Shock Monkey Radio is created by adults for entertainment purposes. The views and opinions expressed here do not reflect the sponsors or FXPG Public Radio. For additional information, refer to the U.S. Bill of Rights. Stand warned. How did this happen? How did all this Afghanistan stuff happen? Well, there's an easy answer. You voted in too many Democrats. There seems to be very few Democrats who actually served in the military. There are some, God bless them, but generally the people who decided to drop everything and run out of Afghanistan are probably people that never served a day in their life. Civilians making military decisions results in this sort of stupidity. Sure, you can say that Biden made this decision against the will of his military leaders, and maybe he did, but I don't even trust the Joint Chiefs. Because they are officers, and officers are educated in secular colleges and taught all of this activist critical race theory nonsense, and that results in General Milley saying that he's concerned about quote-unquote white rage in putting critical race theory books on the military reading list. Sorry, General, I know I was only an E5, but even I understand that this sort of stuff is not within the military's purview. It is within the military's area of responsibility. And since Obama, presidents have been saying that we're leaving Afghanistan. So you've had many years to plan an organized and secure departure from Afghanistan. You also had plenty of time to ensure our military-grade weapons and vehicles do not fall into the hands of dangerous terrorist wingnuts. What exactly were you doing with your time, generals? Were you really more concerned with white rage inside of America where you know you cannot be legally deployed? Or the Islamo-fascists who want to kill everyone who isn't an inbred donkey fucker like them? Biden is a prime example of why people who have not served should not hold public office. And Milley is the reason why the officer class in the military needs to be scrapped. Sure, I know that limited duty officers and warrant officers are a different story. But no one should go straight from college to being an officer. Service guarantees citizenship. Education does not mean what it used to. So these soft, liberal college boys made the decisions that will result in thousands of lives in the next couple of years or so. Not just Americans who will die. I don't want anyone to die. So even if the objective was to get out, the generals have the responsibility to push back against the president, saying that we need more time or whatever, and bring the force of America's military to bear to ensure that all American civilians, weapons, equipment, and troops can get safely out of the country. Even if you agree with the president's call to get out, you have to push back and say we need more time to do it safely and securely. So of course I'm mad at Biden and these generals and admirals. But I know deep within my blue and gold heart that there are plenty of people in the military who are trying to fight against all those awful orders. And they are probably being reprimanded or punished for trying to fight for what's right. All along the chain of command, there has to be somebody pushing back against General Milley and people like him, and the way that they should, and the way that Milley himself should push back against the commander-in-chief. All this stuff really fires up the squid in me, because the only reason I felt safe the entire time I was in the Navy was the understanding that if I fell off the ship, people would yell "man overboard" and point at me, and the ship's boats would put underway and they would come and save me. And that was all the danger I really faced in the Navy. But for the private on the ground, he gripes to his sergeant that this evolution seems to be a little foobar. And sergeant just says, well, it's a, situation normal, all fucked up, snafu. All right? And then the sergeant goes to the lieutenant, and he says the whole squad thinks that these orders are dangerous and poorly planned. And then the LT tells his captain. The captain tells his major. The major tells the colonel. And so on. And Private Pogue needs to know that his entire chain of command has got his back while he's focused downrange. So if you're concerned about white rage, consider my rage, General Milley. I know it doesn't mean much in such racist times as these, but I have nothing but white-hot rage for the college-educated jackholes that always end up causing the deaths of young soldiers, Marines, and sailors, and sometimes even times 4 or times 5 civilians. that blood is on your hands too.